What is up, Alphas? Welcome to our next Alpha interview with Melanie from business name that I'm totally going to mess up. I know for sure. Linda Designs. I'm going to say it really fast. You pronounce it because your accent makes it sound
Linda
so much better.
Designs. You said it correctly. Yes.
Did I? Yay. Awesome. So do you want to share with the Alphas what you create in your shop?
I create leather journals mostly, you see behind. And I even make them tiny. And from then I started with the journals and I expanded with leather products like keychains and toiletry bags and all kinds of stuff, but mostly books. I'm a bookbinder in daily life and a book restorer. And
awesome.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I started with with books.
That's so cool. So you were able to tie something that you were already doing in your daily life into your brand. Did you find that starting out, because I know that a lot of alphas, they'll try to make every single type of product, just because they can, but obviously it's your books that you're known for. Do you find that that's the product that people gravitate towards the most in your business?
Definitely. I started out the other way around, actually. When I did like a pre-year to art school, so it's only on Saturdays, I needed like a journal, a book to keep track of the entire project. And I didn't like what I found. So I made my own and then I made more. And I became, I taught myself bookbinding during graphic design. And I started selling them on markets, and then I discovered Etsy and started them online. The journals and the personalized keychains are the most popular products, definitely.
That's awesome. And I love your branding and your photos. They are so crisp and they look like gallery pieces. They look so great. Your banner is super crisp and clean and professional. I feel like you've been in HAA for a long time. I feel like you've been around a while. How long has it been?
I joined December 2020, but I started like February with the first modules. Like I wanted to start in December so I wouldn't have the pressure of 6 months because I'm chronically ill. So I knew I was going to take longer than average. So it was like, I want more time and don't feel the pressure and just going through the courses and having enough time before Black Friday. And now I didn't finish everything before Black Friday, but I did launch my first collection in October last year. And now I'm currently building my second one, which will have social media coverage, which my first collection did not.
That's awesome. So when we talk about in HAA, rolling that snowball and building that momentum over time, do you feel like that's kind of been the case for you where you've been able to kind of, grow as you go rather than feeling obligated to do everything all at once from the get-go?
Definitely. I just started with the beginning. It's absolutely crucial to just start at the first one. Because I already had a shop, some things went pretty quickly, like FAQs and policies. I was like just checking if I had everything, but that went fast. Photography, I'm still working on it. I have parts of my shop have the new photography style, parts have the old. And for now, I just accepted that it will be a mix for a while before I can redo like 200 projects, timestamp photographs. Yeah. So I did like the first photograph on most of them, and now I'm really reshooting everything. But before Black Friday, I just set the goal, like I want to launch my first collection, and I know I won't finish the entire course. So I just settled on I won't do the social media and the big email part. I just do the first part, see how it goes. And then the second time around, I'll do the full course and do it properly. But I already have like a practice run.
I love that. That's a really strategic way to go about it, because you got the most important things done first.
Yeah.
now you've already got the marketable brand with the great photos. The social media is going to be the easy part now that you've laid that groundwork and that foundation. So what made you decide to join HAA when you did?
I started my shop a little over 10 years ago as a hobby and a side project, went to art school, and within the first year I got sick. So I closed my shop, but I didn't quite want to abandon it. So I just let it running, but not adding new products for like 6 years. When I finished art school, I was like, well, I don't know where it's going. And it was growing a little bit, but not a lot. And at the start of 2020, some of my income streams went completely dead, like markets are non-existent. I'm immunocompromised, so groups are not a thing for me for a long while. So even though they are starting back up, I'm not going back. So I was like, I want to make Etsy a more substantial part of my business. So I was looking at instruction videos, stumbled upon the YouTube, and I was like, yeah, well, it's a lot of money, but if I want to move forward, this is the way to go. Otherwise, it will grow slowly, but it will take me like another decade. And this is like the fast track.
Yeah, absolutely. And, something that I think that would be beneficial to touch on here, because I would say that just because of the industry that we're in, coaching sellers who primarily create their products from home, everybody has their reason for starting a business from home. But I would say that chronic illness is one of the number one reasons that we see. And I would dare say that around 5%, if I were to guess, of our alphas have started their shops due to chronic illness and have
to a family member being chronically ill and they have to stay home to also take care of them and they can't leave the house, those kind of things.
Exactly. So obviously there are going to be limitations when dealing with chronic illness that are going to keep you from performing, the way that somebody who's just like, go, 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 go 24/7. What have been some of the things that you feel like you've been able to really, really, overcome just since starting your business? And maybe we'll focus on the last few, we'll say, because you started around 2020, you said?
Yep.
December. Yeah. We'll say, just over the last few months since you released your first actual collection.
Well, that was September, and I'm a full perfectionist, so I want to do everything perfect. That's why I delayed my collection. That was my 10-year anniversary on the 9th of September. So I was like, okay, that's my deadline and I want to do it. But there are a lot of things in life you can't control. So I was like midway through, I was like, I'm not going to do the social media part because it's not reasonable. And I'd rather have my products ready than like 2 products and social media. It's about having to make choices and determining what's the most important factor for my trial run. And I was like, yeah, well, you can't do everything perfect. Nobody can. But if you have limited energy or weird things can happen, I might be fine for like a couple of months and then I might not do anything for a month. But you still have to keep your promises. If you released your release date, if it's out in the public, you have to stick to that date no matter what. I feel like I can't let my customers down, so that date is final. So there's a lot of changing and accepting things in the background that my customers won't see. But yeah, you have to juggle a bit between the things you're gonna do. And in the end, I left out one product and the social media, but everything else, all the colors, everything was there, and the pictures are beautiful. It sold well. So I was like, well, it's a good run. And you really have to start like in the beginning. You see with most alphas, they want to do everything perfectly. And especially when you start with your first logo or your name or your first banner, you take quite a while before you put it out. And after a while, you have to learn, like, this is the best I can do now. And I know that I can do better in the future, but I will replace it in the future. It's not set in stone. It's a digital thing. I can replace that banner every day of the week. And that's really the mindset I'm trying to learn. Sometimes my perfectionism takes over, but most of the time it's like, okay, this is the best now. And this is what I'm going with.
That's great, though, because I think you're right. A lot of people will they'll wait and wait and wait and wait and wait rather than building those impressions early. And the thing is, as long as you're getting something out there, you're already ahead of everybody who doesn't have a banner or has, just some banner that they threw together in Microsoft Paint, or they've got a blurry stock photo that they tossed up there. You're already ahead. Mm-hmm. And like you said, your branding and your photos, they're fantastic. You've done such a good job. And I've seen your old photos. I didn't see them when we just looked at your shop before we started. I didn't realize that you still had old photos in there. But I love your approach that you took of just working on the thumbnails first. That is the best thing that you can do when you've got a huge load of photos to update.
Because that's the first thing people are going to see, right?
Exactly.
Like the quality of the other photos doesn't necessarily matter as long as the initial photo that they're seeing of the product is what's grabbing them to look at the listing to begin with. Because if they've gotten to the point where they've clicked on the listing, they're already half invested into buying the product.
Absolutely. So. They're already interested. So obviously your products aren't something that you can just like slap together real quick and stick on Etsy. They obviously take a lot of time and craftsmanship and a very specific skill set to be able to create. So what is the hardest part of running your business, and how have you maybe adapted what you already know about bookbinding and restoration to your business model?
Well, this is one of the easiest bookbinding methods. This is a medieval method. So the easy part is, once you have prepped all the parts, like cut all the holes and folded all the paper, you can sew it pretty quickly. Like, I can make a journal in about half an hour now, because, well, if you do a couple hundred, you're getting pretty fast. I also work at a combined workplace. It's like a printing studio of 100 years ago. So all the materials are cast iron. We still have lead type, and I can personalize everything. And the easy thing is, because I split my work days, so I work partially from home and partially over there. And we're over there, we don't have hire people. We're all like collectively hiring the space. So there I'm personalizing everything and just like splitting your skills.
Yeah. And I love that you're able to utilize your skills that you do for your job, for your business, because a lot of the alphas that we've spoken to, they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm a lawyer by day and I make jewelry by night. And you don't often get to see this interesting synergy, which makes you an expert of your craft. It is notoriety. It gives you a passion that others might not be able to advertise or monetize. And your life seems to revolve around this particular skill set. So I find that very, very interesting and really, really cool and marketable. And I hope that this is something that, especially for your social media, that you're able to leverage, because it is definitely a unique selling point.
It speaks to the quality of the product, because you're not having to deviate from what your day is into what your business is. They can expect a higher quality because it's something that you're expected to do of a high quality to begin with, and then you're adapting that quality into something that you can sell.
Yeah. So you're in the Netherlands, correct?
Yes.
What's selling? Well, because most of the alphas that we've spoken to, I believe, are in the U.S. Have you noticed any challenges in particular of selling from the Netherlands and not being in like, mainstream US where everybody buys everything all the time, even if they don't need it?
Definitely, especially before the pandemic, most of my products went to the US, the UK, and Australia. Then the pandemic hit, all my packages got lost for like 4 months, and I couldn't sell to outside of Europe for like 4 or 5 months. And I was like, okay. And even anyone in the Netherlands, most people didn't know Etsy even existed 3-4 years ago when I was at Christmas markets and I was selling at fairs. They were like, you're selling what? And now it's starting to pick up. I even see, I meet other bookbinders at my job, and they were like, hey, I have an Etsy store too, and they're making books. It's getting more media attention, not really mainstream, but at least for people on the internet, like they know what Etsy is. And I've never had more Dutch customers than this year so far.
That's great.
Oh, cool.
That's always a good sign too, especially with Etsy investing so much money and trying to kind of like spread their message, and with the platform growing so much, getting so many new buyers, so many new sellers. And you joined right at that optimal point, that pandemic buying period when people were high traffic. I'm sure that was really hard to have that much traffic on the platform and then have all those packages go missing.
Yeah, not being able to sell for a couple of months because our post office, everything was closed. So I was seeing people speak about, I have so many sales, and I was like, my shop's closed now. I can't sell for a couple of months. I'm not gonna do it. Plus, I physically couldn't ship the products out. My work location was closed, so I couldn't personalize, and that's the main point of my brand. But after that, it started picking up and more worldwide. So it's now my customer base is less specific and more all over the place, which is fun because one of my goals when I figured out I can't travel as much anymore, I can still go on holidays, but it won't be the other end of the world. I set myself a goal to ship to every country in the world. And that's getting along.
Awesome.
So I'm still having that goal.
That's great. That's great.
That's the thing is that the shop might not have been able to sell during the pandemic, but during the pandemic is when a lot of people moved over to the Etsy platform. So that's more than likely why you're seeing people from all over the world, because people from all over the world were unable to get things from anywhere else, and they moved to places like Etsy to be able to get more handmade, high quality stuff than just the crap they bought on eBay.
Yeah, and you probably ended up in people's favorites, and then when you were able to sell again, you were right there for them to actually complete those purchases. So even if you weren't able to actually benefit during that peak, pandemic time,
at least you're getting something.
It sounds like you built a decent funnel system at least, which is great.
It also picked up during the holidays because people still couldn't visit family or friends. 90% of my products went directly to the recipient with gift messages. I offer free gift wrapping, and that's something I can advise to every seller. Offer gift wrapping options, paid or free, doesn't matter, but have the option to ship it directly to the one they want to send gifts to. Because when things picked up, it really picked up on the gifting part.
That's great. And your products are very giftable. Like that it's a giftable product because there's nobody who doesn't need a journal. Like everybody can use it. It's not a product that only a very specific type of person can use. So I love that. So we're already nearing the end of the interview. These things, I keep saying it. I've said it during every interview we've had today, but they just fly by when we're deep in conversation. But the one thing that we've asked every single alpha to share is, if you were talking to somebody who is interested in joining HAA, and let's spin it a little bit. Let's say that maybe they are dealing with a chronic illness, because we do have a lot of alphas who do, and we have a lot of sellers who do in our community. So if you were talking to somebody who is interested in joining, based on your experiences specifically, what might you tell that person?
Definitely take the plunge, do it. First off, the money back guarantee is really a selling point for me. Plus, forever access. I did another course before. I couldn't keep up, and this is self-paced. There's an amazing Facebook group that will help you. And even if you disappear for a couple of months and come back, it doesn't matter. You just pick up where you left off, and it's really like a family. And that's what got me over. And really just go day by day, step by step, and talk in the groups, because there are amazing people in there and they will help you the most. And that's definitely the biggest thing that helped me so far.
Awesome. That is so great. Well, thank you so much, Melanie, for joining us. Thank you for sharing, for motivating the alphas, because I think that a lot of what you've shared today is insanely inspiring, and it's going to help alphas who, you know, have realistic setbacks in their business. You've got a great mindset, and I'm really, really excited to be able to share this with our community. So guys, Melanie's links are all going to be down below in the description. And thanks so much for watching. Melanie, thank you for joining us.